Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Right now, let it be. Question: will we always be attached? Will we always be attached? Whether it is food, shelter, clothing, or relations. Food, shelter, clothing, or relations. Will we always be attached? That's the question. It is our choice not to be attached. Attachment is something that happens when we do not pay attention. Like this chair, for example. If I find this chair comfortable and use it day in and day out, then in course of time I get used to this chair, you get used to this chair and start needing this chair. That other chair I will not be comfortable with. If that happens, that I cannot do without this chair, or if this chair is taken, or I miss that chair, that way it will call attachment. Because then it is chair that controls me. I lost my freedom with reference to chair because now chair controls my frame of mind. If it is there, I am happy. Not there, I am not happy. It is not that attachment is something that we deliberately do, it is something that habitually happens. And therefore, it is always a good idea, as we said, to relate to everything and everybody with freedom. With love, yes. But in attachment, the love gets a little distorted and we become dependent upon something. So attachment shows dependence. It shows bondage. And attachment generally will bring out also an aversion. If somebody else claims that same chair, then there will be a hatred, aversion for that person. So attachment almost invariably brings about aversion. Attachment is raga, brings about dvesha for something that obstructs the fulfillment of raga. That is called raga or attachment, fulfillment of which is very important to me. It is not just a desire, but the desire of which the fulfillment is important. If desire is fulfilled, I am happy or comfortable. Not fulfilled, I am unhappy. I get angry, frustrated, upset. That is called binding desire. That is called attachment. But otherwise, if you desire something and make an effort for getting that, works out, okay, does not work out, you can deal with it. If you can deal with the unfulfillment of our desire without getting angry, upset, frustrated, we can retain a poise of our mind, we can take it in its own stride, then the words of Puja Swami, you can afford to have a few desires. Vedanta will not want any desire, but at least in the day-to-day life, you can afford to have some desires if they are not binding desires. Desire gets fulfilled, fine. does not get fulfilled, you can take it in its own stride and it will shake off. If I cannot shake off something, then it remains in my mind. Then that is called bondage. So whether it is food, shelter, clothing or relations, it's quite likely that we can get attached to any one of these or all of them. Because attachment comes from an inner void, an inner inadequacy, my incapacity to be able to be with myself or enjoy myself. And therefore I need something else to feel happy. That's how the attachment comes. So everybody has this difficulty. But if you are careful and make sure that I do not get overly attached, Lord Krishna says, anavishwangaha. Some attachment will be there in life. Without attachment, there cannot be life. Because without attachment, you cannot take care of something. With your children, with the family and with friends, attachment or affection is quite in order to some extent. As long as it is not excessive attachment, not binding attachment. Because then we start controlling. With attachment, I become dependent upon somebody or something, and therefore the acceptance of that person or the favorableness of that person becomes very important to me, because then only I am comfortable. And then slowly we start controlling. Don't let them go. You can't do this and you cannot do this and you cannot go here and you cannot, etc. Thus controlling comes. Then jealousies come if there is somebody else also claims that object of attachment. So attachment results into all this, into possessiveness. Attachment becomes possessiveness. Then results into controlling, results into jealousies, into disappointment and hurt. So yes, we can get attached to any or all of those things, whether it is food, shelter, clothing, relation or anything. But we have to try to see that we enjoy them all right, but not get attached to them. So Upanishad says, Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. You enjoy them all right, with tyaga meaning without attachment, without craving. Enjoy something without craving. Because craving can never be satisfied. Whereas you enjoy something and let it go. If I have enjoyment, it goes away from my mind, and again next day is 7 o'clock. Do we have ice cream today? Third day 7 o'clock. Do we have kulfi today? Then that is controlling me. And basically we should not accept any dependence. See, we don't like to be controlled, we always want to be independent and free. And we assert our freedom with reference to other people. But these things, they control me. So where is my freedom? If my friend says do this, I won't do it. Or if my spouse says no, then that's why I assert my freedom. Not that you should not or should assert, but these things are controlling us, understand? So we should recognize that and extricate ourselves from the hold of these things. That doesn't mean we do hate them. Doesn't mean that we create a distance. Doesn't mean that we don't experience them. Doesn't mean we don't enjoy them. Enjoy with freedom. It is there, I'm happy. Not there, then also I'm okay, I'm comfortable. So this attachment is something that we have to watch out for. And soon before we realize, we find ourselves attached to a thing like chair, to shoes, to footwear, to some color of the clothes, hairstyle, and so many things. Is one thing to have good hairstyle, nothing wrong in it. Other thing to be measuring myself based on that, having complex because of that. So, we have to watch out for those things. Not only for Vedanta, for comfort in day-to-day life also. If you need any further clarification of answer of any question, please raise your hand. Mostly people don't want to own up the question anyway, so they won't raise the hand, but if you want to. How should one best approach the practice of the sixfold samadhis as taught in Drugdrishya Viveka? Read the book called Drugdrishya Viveka. Our book is there. It explains each one of these sixfold samadhis, and it's not something that can be question answer thing, it requires the text and description and unfoldment. So, if I approach you mean should you do this or not, it's always desirable that you do spend time. This samadhi is nothing but contemplation upon the self, being with oneself. And when you're totally with yourself, that's called samadhi. So it's always a good idea to have some time for ourselves when we can be with ourselves, or we can be ourselves, put it this way. See, when we are interacting with the world, there is always an apprehension as to what would they think of me. That question is always there in my mind. Because your acceptance of me is very important to me. Generally, I am seeking your acceptance, your approval, because when you accept, then I am comfortable. If you reject me, I feel rejected and I feel defeated. So your acceptance, your approval becomes very important to me. Therefore, I very rarely come clean, meaning that I very rarely expose myself as I am, always have a facade. And I show myself as different from what I really am, so that I am acceptable to you. So I always have a pleasing smile on my face, and there's a variety of things I do, so that my real being remains hidden. And the way I present myself is an acceptable way. I like to be acceptable to you. So, meaning that we are not ourselves very often or most of the time. We are generally playing some roles or putting on some show just to become acceptable and to be nice and to be looked and... So what is meant by being with myself is I don't have to have no facade because I am by myself. There is nobody to judge me, nobody to evaluate me, judge me, approve me, disapprove me. So I'm in my own space. So it's a good idea to go into my own space. So that at that time at least I am what I am, with all my limitations and blemishes. And I accept myself as I am. So it's a good idea, number one, to have a session with myself and I accept myself. I'm honest with myself that this is what I am. This is what my limitations are. This is whatever I am. My body is what it is, mind is what it is, intellect is what it is, ego is what it is, everything is what it is. I accept it and develop a comfort with it. So developing comfort with oneself as one is very important. Only when I develop comfort with my limitations, then comes the next stage when I can enjoy myself. So developing comfort with my limitations, accepting myself as I am, is very, very important. Self-acceptance is the most important thing in a human life, because self-non-acceptance is the source of all unhappiness. So we say ignorance, but ignorance makes me limited. impose limitations upon me, and therefore I don't accept myself. So accepting the limited self to begin with. Accepting myself as I am. Then I can create distance with my limitations. And then I can see the true nature of myself. So in that sense, this practice of being oneself, being oneself, being with oneself, first being oneself, being with oneself, developing comfort with the self that I am, is meaning gracefully accepting my limitations. Because they are there. I haven't created them, I happen to have them. And there's nothing right or wrong about it. That's what it is, so gracefully accepting oneself. We talked of graceful acceptance of everything. First begins graceful acceptance of myself. As Prasada. I am Prasada of the Lord. Swami liked that word Prasada. So in this audience I'm sure there is several Prasada, In our audience of course we have one, but usually in his, so that I am myself Prasada. Other things are Prasada, all right, but I am also Prasada. That's what Ishvara has given me. This body is Prasada. Mind is Prasada. Intellect is Prasada. What I have is Prasada. What I am is Prasada. And Prasada is something to feel blessed about. I'm happy to be what I am. If I'm happy with what I am, it doesn't matter what other people think. If I accept myself, genuinely happy with myself, meaning with my limitations, then you conquer a great thing. Next is self-knowledge. First is self-acceptance, then comes self. See, for knowing anything, you have to accept first. Even for knowing something objectively, we must be objective, meaning that there must be comfort with that. No ragadvesha for this. When a scientist, suppose you have a blood sample and you're testing in a lab, nothing, no agenda about that blood. Similarly, freedom from agenda. We have to practice that, because we don't do that. Habitually, we look down upon ourselves, always critical of ourselves. So we have to practice that we don't criticize ourselves. You don't have to flatter yourself either. Gracefully, happily accept the self as I am. Big thing. Our second generation is getting married with a person with other faiths. Where and how to start them exposing to Hinduism. Hinduism does not do recruitment, means conversion, I guess, and believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. How to mean that the whole earth is our family. How to bring their faith? Where do we start? Which book, audio, video you suggest? It is a good idea to expose them to Hinduism, because Hinduism gives us a very healthy outlook towards life, healthy way of life, healthy values and attitudes. In that sense, Hinduism is a great contribution. That doesn't mean other faiths don't have that, but Hinduism definitely has a plenty of that. So, certainly, our second generation would benefit from learning about Hinduism in an objective manner. So there are many books on Hinduism anyway about, and where to start? Which book? Even if you don't talk about Hindu Dharma as such, start with some simple books of Vedanta, like our Puja Swami, Introduction to Vedanta, and some of these simple books are there where they can be introduced to what Vedanta teaches. And then slowly, if they get interested, then perhaps other aspect of Hinduism. But if our children get exposed to Vedanta and develop a value for Vedanta, and what is Vedanta? What is Bhagavad Gita? Right attitudes and values, number one. Right priorities. Right choices. This itself is great as far as living life is concerned. So Bhagavad Gita is the best book. For exposing our children to Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita is the best book. And there are nice, even our Puja Swami is a little book called Introduction to Teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Teaching of Bhagavad Gita, some 168 page book. I remember the number of pages also, but something like that would be very good, which gives an overview of Bhagavad Gita. And then we can introduce them to other books also. So I think Bhagavad Gita is the best thing to introduce, but it should also be communicated in a manner which is relevant to them. In different ways you can communicate. But begin with this, teaching of Bhagavad Gita like book. And there is no practice of conversion in the Hinduism or Vedic religion. And you are right that Hindus that were very broad-minded, and they believe that anybody who follows these values can get moksha. Meaning that you don't have to be initiated or something as a Hindu. Whoever you are, every human being can get moksha if he or she follows this teaching and lives life accordingly. So it is not that somebody has to save you and somebody has to do this, you save yourself. Even Lord Krishna says, I save them, that is only when you invoke him, and then you make yourself worthy of being saved. So he saves all right, but we have to become worthy of being saved by him also. Tesham aham samudharta. I lift them from the ocean of samsara. Those people. Mai sarvani karmani sanyas yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyene vyogena mam dhyayantu upasate tesham aham samudharta. What a big condition. He says, I lift them from the ocean of samsara. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Those who offer all their actions to me. Mat paraha, for them, for whom I am the ultimate goal and they are devoted to me. Mam, they all constantly think of me, meditate upon me. All these preconditions are there for Lord Krishna to lift them from ocean of samsara. He doesn't go about, lifting everybody and anybody. Looks like he's a nice God, but then he is a tough God. God is tough. God is good also. He is very graceful, but he is tough also. We have to rise and live up to his expectations. So nothing comes free. If you think that you become liberated, you go to paradise just because you are initiated as a Christian, that is a stupid way to think. That just because you have become Christian, so Christ will save you. There is nothing else to do or what? Krishna, you have to become Christ to be saved, really. He demonstrated what the life of a Christian should be, and you become that. That's what is that. You just want to feel comfortable. I'm now initiated, and I'm baptized, and he will save me. What do you mean? You can be a crook. Baptized means what? You can be anybody and anything. So many people are Christians and baptized. It doesn't mean they are all gentlemen. Everybody is there everywhere. Does it mean that just because by way of being Christian you are saved? No. Or because somebody is not Christian and worthy is not saved, they also can't be accepted. You can't accept a partial God like that. It's all marketing techniques, that's all it is, nothing else. Hinduism doesn't believe in that. It's everybody is equal. Everybody is equal right of being, of moksha. If you follow this. Some people go to the extreme of saying Hinduism is not a dharma, it's not a religion, it's a way of living. That's another extreme. Definitely, because religion is a technical word by all these Abrahamic religions, and you call it religion provided there are these, what do you call the canons and this, that. And it's not Hinduism, it's not that kind of a structured thing, so they don't even want to call Hinduism religion by their definition of religion. But it's a religion in as much as it gives you both the view of life and the way of life. Both of these are given. Smartphones are extremely useful. However, they are also a source of distraction. Happiness, unhappiness, both. That's how everything is in the universe. Whatever is created is twofold. It's like a double-edged sword. A thing can become the source of happiness and it can also become the source of unhappiness. Anything and everything. So, what to talk of smartphone? Anything can be source of happiness. Depends on how I relate to that. Can become source. This doesn't become source of happiness or unhappiness. The way I relate to it, it becomes source of happiness. If I relate to it in the opposite way, it can also become the source of unhappiness. So, it is I who empower this to make me happy, and I who empowers this to make me unhappy. This poor thing is what it is. We can't blame smartphones, we can't blame anybody for making us unhappy, or happy either for that matter. Happiness is nothing but that attachment. But anyway, smartphone is an empowerment. And certainly it empowers us in many ways. In communication, relations, there is no question about it. We can't dismiss it as no good, or it has a lot of contribution. And any intelligent person will use it as far as the contribution is concerned. But that's where the intelligence comes, that I don't slide. It's a slippery path. I don't slip or slide such that I become controlled by that. They say luxury comes as a guest, lingers on to become host, stays on to enslave you. So all these things came as guest, lingered on to become host, and they stay on to enslave me. Now it's up to me not to become a slave. We can't blame smartphone. And of course, there are people who want to make money at our cost. They are very smart, smarter than smartphones. The people who make smartphones are very smart. And they know how to use us, how at our cost to make money. So we can't blame them because we become vulnerable. We are vulnerable, gullible, vulnerable, and so exploitable. So we are like a sitting duck for those marketing people. For the so smartphone, we have to ourselves decide how much I am going to, for what purpose I am going to use it, how much I am going to use it. Not that you should not take and should not seek entertainment from that, but then again, it's a slippery path. And soon it comes as a guest, lingers on to become a host, and enslaves me if I am not watchful, if I am not careful. So we have to watch out.
This is for an adult, matured person that they can make the discrimination. but they are nowadays introducing this technology at a very tender age in the school system. They are doing the homeworks, letting the children do their homework on that system, and they are exploring into areas where they should not be exploring at that age. And in a lot of schools, a lot of problems are happening because of this. And Bill Gates and other people who have all been into these phones, they have not given their children the phones at that age because they don't know where they would be going with that. And a lot of bad things are happening with regard to children because of their getting into areas where they should not be going with the phones. This is for children who are not yet matured enough to be able to make the discrimination.
So I guess we have to create phones where the boundaries are already drawn. So if the schools, for example, use technology to help children do their homework and whatever else, that technology should have the boundaries, where the children cannot go beyond boundaries, and that makes sense. Boundary must be there everywhere. So we should ask them to make smartphones with the kind of boundaries that we want. So like in internet, etc. also you can shut out certain things. It is not so. I mean, it's always possible to do that. And so we have to decide our own boundaries. Lord Krishna says, moderation everything, but slippery path. Basically, it is our inner sadness that makes us slip. That's all it is. What makes us addicted? Addiction is the result of an inner void and sadness. A discomfort with oneself and the need to seek comfort, an easy way to comfort, seeking comfort. Other things are a little more expensive. This easy way, easy entertainment. So people they keep on looking and laughing. A little child, a 5-year-old child, he was giggling. I'm looking like that. He said, what? He was in his cell phone watching some game or something like that. So they can get entertainment from. So then parents also, you get, let them take care of it. So you don't have to bother about them. You dispose them. And that's why all these gadgets become very helpful to parents also, because otherwise children are on their head. They don't have time. You want to have a child, all that, but you don't have time for it. Because you want to have your own priorities. You want to continue your work, your profession, your career, and want to have a child also. So then you dispose of the child. You have a babysitter, you have this sitter, and what is it, play group and this group. Nothing wrong with that. I'm saying that how is one thing that I'm sure that my child will really grow and learn in this play group, it's fine. But to dispose of something like babysitting, even the Bal Vihar also, parents come and just drop the children there. Let these people do babysitting, of their children, so that we don't have to worry about them for 2 hours. I mean, this is, I'm sure that raising children is no easy task at all, no easy task. It is a very demanding task. To be a parent is not easy at all. But then we have chosen, we have made a choice. As I said, to get married is not easy, but we made a choice. To be a parent, not easy, made a choice. To be a grandparent, of course there is no choice, but that's also not easy. It's afterwards we realize what it means, how demanding every role is. And so, whatever children, adults, so children as well as how do you suggest we control the desire for constant interaction with our smartphones? As I said, whether it is smartphone or any other source of cheap or easy entertainment, it all is a need arising from an inner void, inner inadequacy, inner need. And formerly we did not have other ways of fulfilling those needs, so perhaps we have to also adopt some healthier ways. Now these things are available, and so every human being will go after that. Human being is basically a sad creature, an unhappy creature. There is nobody, no creature as unhappy in the universe as a human being. Human life is a painful life. And unless we have a healthy way of dealing with the pain, we are going to find out the other ways also. So how to control? If the child is available for control, basically, first of all, I don't know that you can control them and say that you cannot have a phone for more than half an hour, and because you yourself have your own phone and you are also very busy. So how are you going to look over his shoulder, etc.? As I say in the beginning, it's convenient distraction for parents. So you give him that thing, that little toy, and it keeps him busy. So the little toddler has also this thing, and it knows at least 10 times more about smartphone than I know. That little thing. It knows how to get out this thing and out his particular music and some song it wants to listen to. Everything it knows. This not is walking, it's not standing, you're a toddler. And I struggle with my phone, how to send this message and how to transfer it, how to forward it. I have not yet discovered, and I have not. So those fellows are born from the womb of the mother with all this know-how. Looks like it. So child was born like this. Inside also he must be having a cell phone as though. And children, extremely smart generation, I tell you, as the time comes, children are very, very smart. And they learn in no time. In no time they learn. Because these days they don't provide any operating manual at all. They just give you a thing, Now what to do with it? For the whole life I would not learn most of this thing in there. These fellows learn in just half an hour. Every kind of an application. So many things are there. He knows everything. And for me in my cell phone, lots of things come, I don't even look at them. I don't even know what they are, many of them. So that's why I don't get addicted, because I can't enjoy it. I have not learned how to get pleasure out of it. That's why I don't get addicted. But otherwise I also can get this WhatsApp and stuff like that, on videos and stuff. I just took, If you start spending time with them, it just becomes very distracting. So how to control? I don't know. You basically cannot control anybody. Unless right from the beginning you have drawn some boundaries and educated them as to what is to be done, what is not to be done, whether to give them the phone, or we make a special phone with certain boundary lines, etc. I don't know whether such a thing is possible or whether you can program it that way, but we have to be careful right from the childhood. Once a certain time passes, goes out of our control, then the child would not listen to you. May listen to you in your presence, and later on does what it wants to do. It is dangerous. Internet, all this is, we know that it's dangerous. All kinds of, because all crimes also come from there. I'm sure a lot of good work also comes from there, but then it has both, it's a double-edged sword. How do you know? How do you know if you are making progress in spiritual path? What are the signs? In simple words, if I have to say, developing comfort with oneself. How do you know that I am making progress on spiritual path? If I am a happy person. Happiness is a mark. And what is happiness? Being comfortable with myself. And so you become, that's why it's a very rewarding thing. All that we are talking about is all very rewarding because it is the art of being happy. This is the way, and this is the only way to become happy. There is no other way than this. Other than self-growth, other than emotional maturity, there is no other way to be happy. Because nothing can make me happy. Things can make a show of making me happy, but nothing can give me happiness in true self. I myself will learn how to discover happiness from myself, and that comes by self-growth, by living life intelligently, life of values, right attitudes. No shortcut. As far as happiness is concerned, no shortcut. So what is the sign? You find yourself happy with yourself. You find yourself a kind person, more forgiving, broad-minded, compassionate. This is a core self. Our core self is a loving, kind, compassionate self. That's what you and I are in our core. We are Brahman, of course, but then Brahman manifests as this love, kindness and compassion. That's what we are. And to invoke that core person is the purpose of spirituality. When we say perform the action as worship to Ishvara, it all means that invoke that devotee from you. Invoke that core person. And the extent that you have done it, to that extent, you display the goodness, which is the true nature. So the extent that my true nature becomes manifest from me, to that extent I have made progress. What is the difference between Nitya Karma and Niyata Karma? Or are they the same? They are the same. This question arises because Lord Krishna in the 3rd chapter says, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam, may you do Niyata Karma. Well, Niyata literally means that which is determined for you, for which you are appointed. So, you are appointed something, as though the scheme of things that has appointed each one of us to do certain things, because we are sent here with our own uniqueness, with our own individuality, and then to that extent we can contribute. So Niyata Karma is the karma or the action that you perform as a contributor. Therefore Nitya Karma also has the same spirit. So they essentially mean the same. How to exhaust Sanchita Karma? This discussion will come in the last verse of this text itself. So we'll reserve that discussion of karma when we go to the last verse. How progress towards achieving goal of life? How do I know if I'm making progress? We just talked about it. How do you diminish pain from losing a close relation? Is this grief selfish? This grief arises when the I gets connected to something. Happiness also arises when I gets connected, and unhappiness also arises when the I gets connected. A close relation means I is closer, more closely the I is associated, more impact there is. Meaning that even my happiness also is greater in degree, more closely I am associated. If my son gets an award or something, I am very proud, I am very happy. If his friend gets, I am somewhat, If I get an award, happiest. My son gets an award, very happy. His friend gets the award, somewhat happy. His friend, little happy. Nothing. So, it is connection with I. Stronger the connection with I, stronger the impact of both happiness as well as unhappiness. So certainly, losing close relation is a big void. It leaves a very big void in our heart. And there is definitely a sense of loss because what that person contributed in life is no more available. So that grief is a genuine grief. It's not a selfish grief. Selfishness is involved in that in the some self, but the grief is something which is very natural, and we have to go through that pain. In the words of psychology, you have to process that pain or go through that pain. Process the pain in terms of trying to understand the whole phenomenon of what death is and how what relation is, etc. But regardless of any amount of philosophizing, the fact that there is a loss remains, and we invested a close relationship, meaning that there was a lot of emotional investment on our part, and then there is a loss, there is a void in our life, and so there is a loss which cannot be negated or dismissed by any kind of philosophy or reasoning. I understand that after nobody dies, I know Swamiji, that the soul is eternal, does not die. All that is right, but the fact remains that physical presence is not there. And so there is definitely a loss, and we have to go through that pain. There is no choice. And nothing wrong in pain. Don't deny their pain. Don't cry. Don't tell them not to cry. Sometimes people say, hey, don't cry. Somebody passed away, why should you not cry? Let them cry. No, he will not like it. Who will not like it? What will you think if he sees you crying? Nothing. Why should they think crying is something that is, so suffering, pain, crying or expressing your emotion is quite all right. There's nothing wrong in it. In fact, in the olden days, in villages, there were people who were specialized. When death happens, they come and make you cry, in fact, by saying things. They are very expert about that person, They will talk about that person, what all that person, he or she was, and then and make you cry. That's how your pain also is expressed. I'm not saying that you keep crying, etc., but in case there is pain and there are tears in your eyes, there is nothing wrong in it. That let the pain express itself. It's something that is natural with any sentimental person. It seems that Vedanta helps us know our true nature, which is inherently complete and adequate. It seems Vedanta helps us know our true nature, which is inherently complete and adequate. However, we are born with a biological body that is inherently inadequate in terms of energy, food, stimulation. Therefore, we are always driven to act in the world in order to get our biological needs met. How do we reconcile our Vedantic complete nature with our biological incomplete nature? Both of them go together. It's not only body, we have a body also, physical body. We have so many kinds of bodies. A physical body is there. There's Annamaya Kosha. A vital body is there called Pranamaya Kosha. An emotional body is there called Manomaya Kosha. An intellectual body is there called Vijnanamaya Kosha. And a blissmaya body, Anandamaya Kosha. So many bodies we have. Each one is inadequate. And not only in the world we are striving to fulfill the needs of the physical body, emotional being also. We are also striving to fulfill our emotional needs. our intellectual needs, our spiritual needs. So, whereas Atma is complete, this body-mind-sense complex through which Atma functions is incomplete. Because whatever is created is incomplete. And therefore there is nothing wrong in seeking to fulfill the genuine needs of this body-mind-sense complex. There also there must be moderation and boundary, because about this incomplete equipment, unfortunate rule is there, more you try to fulfill its needs, more needy it becomes. More you try to fulfill the need for pleasure of your mind, more the mind seeks. More you feed your body, more the body demands. So we should know also where to put the boundaries. That's where the moderation comes. Lord Krishna says, Yuktahara viha, moderation in food, moderation in everything. This body-mind-sense complex is given to us and requires, we are like the trustees and we have to take care of it. We should take care of body as well as mind, as well as intellect, all the needs within its limits, because knowing that if you overdo it, it becomes more demanding and dependent. And so that is where we have to draw the boundaries. That we have to go out in the world to fulfill the needs of the body, no question about it. It's given, that's our job. That's our responsibility. Other needs are all created by us. But needs of the body are created by the Creator. There is hunger, there is thirst, there is biological need is created, and we have to have a genuine, legitimate means of fulfilling these needs. Other needs, emotional needs, etc., are all out of ignorance, and that knowledge alone will solve. But they're also within reasonable limits. We can satisfy emotional needs, intellectual needs, ego needs also. Ego also needs a certain amount of gratification. At least it needs to a point where it feels I'm all right. There is no limit. But some amount of ego gratification also is okay up to a point. And so gratification of this body-mind-sense complex within its limits is quite all right. As long as I don't become a slave to that. But otherwise it's my responsibility to take care of that. Meaning that we have to decide what the boundaries are ourselves. Alright? That takes care of all our questions. Now you can lower the lights. So I will chant and sing, and you please repeat after me. Everybody should join. He Gananatha Gajanana, He Gananatha He Gananatha Gajanana, He Ramba Gajanana, He Ramba Gajanana, He Gananatha Gajanana, Gauri Nandana Gajanana, 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 Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Gajana, Listen. Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Nanda Gajanana 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 Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Janana Lana Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Janana He Gananatha Gajanana He Ramba Gajanana He Gananatha Gajanana He Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Nana Gajanana Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Gajanana Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana He Gananatha Gajanana He Gananatha He Gananatha Gajanana He Gananatha He Ramba Gajanana He Ramba Gajanana He Ramba He Gananatha Gajanana He Gananatha Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Gajanana Gajanana Gauri Nandana Gajanana 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 Gauri Gajanana Gajanana Nana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana Siddhivinayaka Gajanana He Gananatha Gajanana He Gananatha Gajanana He Hari Hari Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Govinda Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Govinda Hari Gopal Narayana Hari Gopal Hari Gopal Narayana Hari Shri Hari Narayana Shri Hari Narayana Shri Rishikesha Narayana Rishikesha Narayana Badrisha Narayana Badrisha Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Hari Narayana. Everybody. Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Gopal Narayana Hari Gopal Narayana Shri Hari Narayana Shri Hari Narayana Rishikesha Narayana Rishikesha Narayana Badrisha Narayana Badrisha Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Hari Narayana Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Govinda Narayana Hari Gopal Narayana Hari Gopal Narayana Shri Hari Narayana Shri Hari Narayana Shri Rishikesha Narayana Rishikesha Narayana Rishikesha Badrisha Narayana Badrisha Narayana Badrisha Hari Hari Narayana Hari सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ